So the guy who has been charged with the arson, this 21-year-old Ukrainian, it appears that he is possibly one of three things. Could be four things, actually, when I consider it. There are people out there, rightly or wrongly, saying this boy's a rent boy.
So in America, rent boy, that equals male escort. It's a common...
Or wrongly, that it was some sort of relationship with Kier Starmer. I don't know Kier Starmer's sexuality. I know he's got a wife and kids. Who am I to say otherwise? That he's heterosexual. Is he bisexual? I don't know, right? And the third one is none of that's true, right? So that's a possibility. But the other fourth choice is you could be two at the previous three. You could be a rent boy who has had a relationship. And there are suggestions that a national newspaper has got voice recordings of this guy and they may or may not be released in the next 24 hours. What they include, that's open for debate.
That's going to be huge news if this breaks. But the bottom line is, if you've just joined us, how does a male escort know to target Keir Starmer's 2 properties and a car? And what has motivated him to target? Of course, the BBC News are reporting him as a builder, not a male escort. But we know they're in the club. Hugh Edwards to Savile, etc.
But if they have anything connecting this guy to Starmer, he's in a shaky peg. Got to be. Absolutely got to be. But the thing I just think's a bit bonkers is him, the Labour Party, nor the government have made a single comment on this through any official channels. You can imagine if Donald Trump's player property anywhere, down in Key Largo, whatever the name of the place in Florida, or Trump Towers, or any of his residences or things connected to him, you would imagine that his press people would have put something out by now.
Well, you remember Jonathan Odie shot up the Trump Hotel, one of Diddy's sex slaves, and the press was all over it?
Because these things have happened a few days ago now, particularly the last one. The first one, God knows when that was. Was it a week ago, a fortnight? We're not really sure. But nothing. Hee-haw. It's as if they don't want to talk about the story.
Of course they don't want to talk about the story. Stasi Starmer is implementing the globalist agenda to a T. They want to protect him at all costs.
And the other thing is, what is this other property? Now, again, this is rumour, conjecture.
Oh, this is where it gets even more interesting, folks. So, first property, Keir Starmer had lived at before becoming Prime Minister. Second property, the media are only saying it's associated with Keir Starmer. Ambiguous, mysterious, making us want a deep dive. And our friend here is going to give you some details.
People trying to fill a void because the government, nor Starmer, nor the party have said a word. And there is a suggestion that this other unnamed property connected to Starmer may very well be a property owned by someone close to him and potentially Lord Ali. Now, what would connect Lord Ali, a known homosexual who won the Stonewall Award for the Parliamentarian of the Decade, nonetheless, not so long ago, who's very friendly with Kier, who's put a lot of money into Kier? I don't have any male friends that have bought me suits, right? And also, I've never had a relationship with another man. I don't know if those things are connected or not. They might be, they might not be. I don't know. But the suggestion that's been made to me, which I have no way of knowing whether it's anything more than a scurrilous rumour, is that the property connected to Kier is actually Lord Ali's. Now, how those three men are connected, if they're connected at all, because this could just be a rumour, I'm unsure and don't want to speculate how three adult men, one who may be a rent boy, one who may be a homosexual multi-millionaire, and one who may be the Prime Minister is the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. How that all connected, I couldn't possibly guess.
Every now and then, the network is exposed. Whether it's Diddy smashing Cassie outside of his hotel room, whether it's a human transported person escaping, whether it's a male escort setting fire to your car and your house. The network reveals itself periodically, folks. The UK Savile network I'm talking about. We know he was a procurer.
But it's intriguing nonetheless. There's a couple of things that could happen for everybody who's putting these potentially scurrilous rumours about. And that would be an absolute definite comment from the Prime Minister, from the Labour Party, or even from the government itself. And put all these scurrilous things to bed. But there's a bit of me kind of thinks that that won't happen. And you can probably guess yourself why such a thing would probably not happen. So just to summarise, these rumours and this information that's came my way that somebody's trying to tell me is factual, that I am only going to accept as a scurrilous rumour at this point. And that is a few things. A 21-year-old Ukrainian is a rent boy who may or may not have had a relationship with Kier Starmer.
Thinking about the motivation, you know, Kier Starmer is so far up Zelensky's posterior, even when the Trump spat happened, pretending that he loves Ukraine. There's no other reason that a Ukrainian would go after Starmer than he had a personal issue with him, because Starmer is so pro-Ukraine and BlackRock and his globalist interests.
And they are property that nobody knows about. It's just connected to Kier, may or may not be owned by Lord Ali, and may be the one thing that connects these three men in a ring, or a chain, or whatever name we want to give that.
Ring, hello.
But at this point, I would need to stress, these are all just scurrilous rumours, aren't they? If you want others to see this video, click the thumbs up, put some comments below, and hit share. Or any of those.
And his channel link's in the description box, folks. So please go over and send him some love from this channel and ask him if he wants to come on. If you're watching this, please come on my channel. Let's expand on this.
See, things would be wonderful. If you've not already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notifications bell. Then YouTube will let you know when I put some more videos out. But most important thing of all, unless you're a man who may or may not be a homosexual rent boy, who may or may not know the target of 3 firebombs, who may or may not have firebombed another one, which is connected to the Prime Minister because he's been there, then not you. But everyone else, have a good.
So there you have it. Let me get rid of that one. Remove. Let me get the picture of Loverboy back on the screen. There he is. And let me look at what the BBC is reporting on this. So BBC News, Starmer, arson. And you can see how the dinosaur media are just trying to minimize this and cover up like they did for Hugh Edwards and Savile for so many years. All right, so a second man has now been arrested in connection with these attacks on the North London properties connected to Kier Starmer. 26-year-old was arrested on Saturday at London Luton Airport on suspicion of conspiracy to commit. Beep, beep, beep. The arrest relates to 3 incidents: a vehicle fire in Kentish Town, a fire at the Prime Minister's private home on the same street, and a fire at an address he previously lived at in northwest London. Ooh. Another man, Roman, and that's the guy you can see on the screen, who the BBC understands is a builder and a roofer, of course, with a little sideline in. Let me get him back. There he is. Where he is. a little sideline in the adult work. Allegedly. It is just a rumor. All of this is alleged at this point. We're waiting for further sources to confirm. We hope we're at the front of a big story and we're not fools rushing in. So Roman, the builder and roofer who was in court on Friday, is accused of 3 counts. He did not enter any pleas. The Metropolitan Police's Counter-Terrorism Command have led the investigation into the fires because of the connection with a high-profile public figure. And what do these guys do? Cover-up specialists. Like Stasi, Starmer's secret police. Emergency services responded to a fire in the early hours of Monday at the Kentish townhome where Kier lived before becoming PM and moving into Downing Street. Police were alerted by the London Fire Brigade to reports of a fire at the residential address at 135 BTSD. Damage was caused to the property's entrance, but nobody was hurt. It is understood Sir Kier still owns the property and is renting it out. On 8th of May, a car that Sir Kier sold to a neighbour in 2024 caught fire on the same street. So, maybe, I'm just speculating here, folks, if the man of the night had a spat with somebody, he would know the car. The car was sold to a neighbor, so the car would still be in the same vicinity, hence targeted. In the early hours of Sunday, firefighters dealt with a small fire at the front door of a house converted into flats in nearby Islington, which the Prime Minister previously lived at. One person was helped to safety via an internal staircase by crews wearing breathing apparatus, the fire brigade previously said. So there you have it, a quick one on Keir Starmer's possibly targeted by a male escort. 3 separate targets, very suspicious. Young Ukrainian lad. Look at him. We've got our Prime Minister here who just loves bombing, dropping bombs on the poorest countries of the world and keeping the Ukrainian meat grinder, the killing fields going. We've got a Prime Minister here who voted against investigating the grooming gangs who are R-wording teenage girls still to this day in this country. Absolutely horrific that he's enabling this behavior. We've got a Prime Minister here who is just decimating British cities and towns with extreme levels of unfettered immigration. And now all of a sudden, somebody who is a Ukrainian alleged male escort has targeted 3 Starmer properties. What do you guys make of this in the chat, folks? Is this suspicious or what? If you think this is suspicious, put a 1 in the chat, please. Honey trap, somebody's saying. Could be a honey trap. Gone wrong. Blown up. Epstein style. Is this man on the screen Starmer's Virginia? We've got lots of 1s. If you think there is nothing suspicious about this young Ukrainian targeting 3 separate Starmer properties, there's nothing suspicious about that, put a 2 in the chat. If you think there is some sexual component to this, put a 3 in the chat. We know from our work on Jimmy Savile what it's like at the top level of politics in this country with these scummos and their blank faces slobbering all over young boys. Yep, people talking about Philip Schofield, Hugh Edwards, etc. They're all right up there at the top of the club, compromised. Lots of 3s coming in. And then tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. UK, we have got the Juliet Bryant podcast, Epstein and Maxwell Survivor. And when I finish this stream, it will take you over to the trailer for it, which is quite gripping. So if you've not seen it, oh, escort but has ulterior motives. Like what? Like an escort human assassin? All right, I'm going to take you over to the Juliet Bryant trailer for tomorrow's podcast. And then we got Gloria Masters on in the evening. I don't know how this will definitely be proven one way or the other, Deanne. We are waiting for more information to develop. And let's pray that it does. And